Does this sound familiar? You ran ads, you got leads. They were cheap and not a single one converted. Today I want to break down exactly why that happens, especially when you're selling something that costs around $97 a month, and what I would change immediately if I were inside your ad account, because this is one of the most common traps advertisers fall into, and Meta doesn't warn you about it. But before we get into that, here's why you should listen to me. I spend every single day inside hundreds of Meta ad accounts. Inside the Ads Clinic, we support over 200 small, medium-sized businesses, many of them selling paid offers, subscriptions and services in that £50 to £200 per month range. They're all dealing with the same things you are: Andromeda's quirks, delivery, instability, optimization changes, creative fatigue, and the reality of how Facebook advertising actually behaves in 2026, not how it described in theory. Because of that, I get to see patterns you don't see when you're only looking at your own ad account. I see what happens when advertisers optimize for volume versus intent. I see what price transparency really does to lead quality, and see what works, what breaks, and what the algorithm is prioritizing right now. Here's the situation. You launch a lead campaign, you optimize for maximum volume, you hide the price. And Meta does exactly what you just asked it to. It goes out and it finds the easiest people to turn into leads. Not buyers, not decision makers, not people doing their maths in their head, just people who are happy to fill in a form. That's how you end up with $6 leads, 30 submissions and 0 revenue. And it feels confusing because on paper, the campaign worked. But the problem isn't the leads. The problem is you trained the algorithm to optimize for volume. When you optimize for volume, Meta prioritizes speed, low resistance, and low cognitive effort. So it finds people who click impulsively, avoid pricing decisions, and aren't ready to commit to a monthly cost. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear. If someone can't see the price until they opt in, they didn't generate a lead. You delayed the rejection. You didn't improve the conversion. You just pushed no further down the funnel. So, should you mention the $97 price in the ad copy? In most cases, yes. And I know why people hesitate. They're afraid CPMs will go up. They're afraid lead volume will drop. They're afraid cost per lead will increase. And all of that usually happens. But what also happens is this. You repel the wrong audience. You attract people already doing the maths. And the conversation's completely changed. Instead of hearing, oh, I didn't realize it cost money, you start hearing, I saw it was $97. It was just a question I had before joining. That's a buyer conversation, not a support ticket. If your offer is $97 a month, your ad should act like it's a filter, not a magnet. What about putting the price in the lead form? This is where controlled friction comes in. Adding the price inside the form works when you still want leads, but only from people who are consciously opting in. A structure I often recommend is a soft mention in the ad copy, followed by a clear confirmation in the form. Something like, this is a $97 per month program. Please only submit if you're comfortable with that. Yes, fewer people complete the form, but the ones who do are dramatically more qualified. And more often than not, overall revenue improves, even though lead volume drops. Now, should you A/B test the price versus no price? You can, but don't hide behind testing to avoid making a decision. I see advertisers endlessly testing price visibility or burning money on unqualified leads. If you already know the price resistance is the issue, start with transparency, then refine, not the other way around. Now let's talk about the biggest lever of all, optimization. Switching from maximum volume to highest intent changes everything. When you optimize for intent, you're telling Meta, I'm okay with fewer leads, I just want better ones. That changes who sees the ad, how long they watch it, and how much friction the system allows. It stops chasing impulse form fillers and starts finding people who pause, read, consider, and decide. Yes, cost per lead goes up, but you don't pay for Meta leads, you pay for outcomes. If you're selling a $97 per month offer, remember this: volume optimization finds interest. Intent optimization finds buyers. Hidden prices delay rejection. Visible prices create alignment. Your job isn't to maximize leads, your job is to minimize wasted conversations. If you're stuck in the loop to cheap leads and no conversions, stop asking for more leads and start asking, what behavior am I training the algorithm to reward? That single shift changes everything. If you found this useful and you want to know more about all this meta world and running ads successfully, click on the link in my description and go to my free school, The Ads Clinic, where you can join over 3,000 people who are learning about Facebook ads like you and becoming more and more successful at this game. I hope to see you there.